Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for joining us tonight as we come together to talk about the opportunities after the new norms. So before we commence, I'd like you to do me a favor by sharing this live feed to your friends by commenting below basics and tag 3 of your friends because we'll be giving out lucky draw tonight to the lucky sharers. So as our economy opens up, slowly we realize that a lot of things has changed. The way we travel, the way we conduct business, the way we attend classes, the way we interact with our friends have been very drastically different as it was before. So as wise men always says, every crisis comes an opportunity. So depends if you want to always be looking on the gloomy side of it, or we choose to look on the opportunity side of it. There's always a two sides to whatever situation that we are in. Once again, before I introduce our speakers tonight, I would like to remind you guys to help us share this out by tagging your friends, because if you tag your friends, you get one of these thermal flasks that we're giving out tonight, sponsored by Bay Suites. All you have to do is just type Bay Suites below and tag 3 of your friends. So I'm Elson from Property Hunter. I'm honored to be invited tonight as the host, together with very experienced entrepreneurs, developers from Sabah. So tonight I'm joined with Datuk Chua Sun Peng, the developers for Bay 21, as well as the upcoming Bay Suite. And thank you for sponsoring tonight.
Thank you.
Our dialogue session, and we're hosting this in this beautiful clubhouse here in Bay 21. So here we also have our good friends Benny Ng.
Hi, everybody.
Yes, he's the developers from Lido Plaza. So Benny will be sharing with us later tonight about the new HOC. And afterward, we'll also have a guest joining us, Wesley, the developer from Taman Changi. So Wesley will be sharing with us tonight about the new technologies in development. So our friends here, Datuk Chua Sun Peng, has been an active preacher for change and adaptations. So perhaps Dr. Chua, you can share with us, everyone is talking about these new norms. So what exactly is this new norms now? And how does these new norms impact the real estate industry?
Good evening. How are you? Sit down, Jen. I actually wanted to share with you how the property industry, how new norm impacted the real estate industries. And the challenges faced by developer today, basically, I've actually put down in red color. Some of us, like the SMD, like small, medium developer like us, Benny, Wesley, and myself, we actually lacking of cash flow in the market, and then we actually drop in revenue. And of course, you can see the supply over demand. And because also the stringent loan financial requirement in terms of end financing from our buyers, and also the bridging loan is very difficult to come by. And also years ago, the after effect of cooling market since 2013, you have actually starting of RPGT tax, and also the IBS, abolition of IBS to cool the market since 2013 until now. And then you can look at the pandemic now, it's actually affect globally, actually in the world, we have this economic recession. And we actually show this table is to try to say that 4 pillars supporting this table in the real market conditions, in the real estate market condition. We are these 4 pillars, any one of the legs will actually destabilize, actually the table will fall, the market will fall. So number one in the list is basically the COVID-19, which now we have the new norm, which we're going to discuss later, how it actually impacted the real estate industries. And number second is government giving us stimulus packages, Bajana recently. These are the good measures that actually help our industries. And third, actually is the third pillar is the buyer and seller. A buyer basically they are hero facing the challenging market and invest in properties. Developer will actually sell this as a seller and on the primary market. And the most critical part, the role played by the bank is actually very important. Lately, Bank Negara have actually giving us R&R is actually up to 20 million, which is rescheduling and restructuring. This is actually very important for the SMD for us to survive. So these are the new norms that affected the real estate industries. And furthermore, we have to go for change because the business modeling are changing as the market are actually very dynamic. So I think that with this, I like to have the next slide, please. This basically, we are talking about by and large, is the, give me a second. I can't see it.
The new orders. But before that, Dato' Chua, you mentioned about just now SMD. It's a new term, small and medium developers, right?
Yeah.
So this is a unique scene in Sabah where there are a lot of SMD in our economy.
Yeah, Malaysia, we have about 70-80% of SME. We call it small, medium entrepreneurs. And this is actually what the Bank Negara is issuing a lot of measure to help the SME. Because this year, the SME, we are talking about the cash flow survival. And next year, we talk about profit. This actually all appear in our screen. As you can scroll down on the left-hand side, the confinement of space, and whereby the new norm are affecting because of the social distancing. And you can see the retail shop are affected, drop in revenues. And then we're improving on the online marketing that will help them to increase the revenue. And by and large, we are looking at the SWOT analysis. Normally, we cover strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threat. But threat, we already know. By innovation, we have to go by I represent the innovation. Innovation. So being an innovation developer, SMD, we are actually looking at different concept altogether. Yeah.
So this is the new ways that the developers have to adapt. So for all the developers who are watching out there, I think Dato' Chua has just mentioned some of the changes that we all have to adapt to in this new norm. But just last month alone, I think the government has also introduced a series of economic stimulus called the Penjana. Do you think the incentives are good?
These are actually basically in one of the area that for every country, is London also doing the same thing, Australia doing the same thing, which I think that it actually helped the economy by and large. And also that actually also helping us, I'm actually applying a loan, 1 million, couple of millions from two different companies. They're actually trying to approve for me. And that actually is my cash flow towards the end of the year. And because we also dealing with as an owner renting out, we also give 50%. Some of them we give more to renting out all the shops and whatnot. And these are actually basically, we are actually helping the SME.
Good initiative.
Yeah.
Helping the local businesses.
So the SMD basically is few of us, but the larger one basically wearing L size, bigger company like perhaps Wongkok and whatnot. And then extra large, we'll be talking about maybe Wame Group. And then extra large is actually, we're talking about SP Sedia. These are the group. They actually have public listed to support them. So we actually, SMD, we stay afloat, and then we need all this SME funding from the bank.
But what are the, after this new COVID situation, a lot of things has changed. And Benny, you're also a developer. So maybe Dato' Chua can advise the younger generation developers. What are the new things that they really have to adapt to? What are the changes they have to make?
Okay. On the slide, the second item on the property development, we are actually looking at how these social distancing can actually affect us. So we may have to redesign the whole scheme by virtue of redesign the layout, whereby the broad term is residential development. We have to provide some suitable working space, work from home concept.
Work from home.
Then if we actually, like myself, if I staying at the dining rooms, it will actually affect us because of my kids and my wife interruptions.
Yes.
These are actually basically.
It's very true.
all these areas, compartmented, so that it actually become a new norm, conducive, so that they can work online and whatnot. And for commercial development, we have to provide suitable home and rest spaces, so that to prevent unnecessary traveling. So this is what we call it work and rest concept. So basically, we also have to incorporate the room designed to be en suite, so that actually frequently we can wash our hands. Otherwise, we actually drain out with all this alcohol sanitizer. Your hand will actually get damaged.
So you are saying we have to produce more like bathroom and washing areas.
Yes, yes. I think for the open space, for the officers, perhaps we have to sectionize all these bathroom rather than stick one to one corner. The working place, basically, it has to be stay relevant. If we actually adopt the old design, your officers will be actually not relevant anymore in near futures. So this, because of this new norm, is affecting our overall design of the building now and in futures. Okay.
I think offices also slowly becoming smaller, isn't it, nowadays? Because of the flexibility to work from home or work out of office, many companies may notice that they may actually not need such a large working space anymore.
Yeah, I think the conclusion for us as a real estate industry is we have to adopt the new norm in the daily life and then transform our real estate to new directions. We have to taking care of this queue of this new norm, and so working towards the new business modeling for mutual benefit for everybody. These are the things that we'd like to share.
Okay, new space, new design, new layout. So for all the aspiring developers out there, I think these are something that you really have to look into it and start to learn, because things has really changed after this whole COVID situation. But moving forward, just now we touched very briefly on the new Penjana. Maybe Dato' Chai can give us your view on the new incentives that's been introduced by the government.
Yeah, actually, I'm actually for the past 2 weeks, I'm actually very busy to talk to the bankers and try to ease the cash flow from my company, and also that they actually have several measures. The latest one is basically we're talking about the industries that are actually affecting by COVID-19. The interest they're offering me is 5% below. Okay,
that's good.
It can go up to even 3%. No, it can go up to 3 million for my case.
Okay.
So this is actually helping the SME or SMD for us to recover from all these crises, so that we can move forward. Okay. So this is good news for us. Actually, Bank Negara and the banks. I know most of there are a lot of bankers on the StreamYard now. So on the Facebook Live, I thank you and I salute you for helping developer nowadays.
Yes. So all you bankers who want business, you know who to look for, Dato' Chua. But what about the new HOC?
Actually, the incentive for the property sectors, they are under the Penjana. They are actually three major items. HOC, I will not elaborate too much, and we leave Benny to elaborate.
Okay.
The second one I like to mention is the LTV that increased from 70% to maybe 90%, but it's subject to internal risk management by the banker. And the third one we talk about perhaps is the RPGT, waiver of RPGT tax. This RPGT tax is actually for benefit for seller. For those people already have properties, they're actually up to sell, and then they get waiver for the 30% first 3 years, and after 5 years, 5%. So overall, the concept would be beneficial for the buyer will be on HOC. That is for primary market. And then benefit for the seller is actually entitlement for the seller only for the secondary market. So it's actually giving a coverage the whole industry of buyer and seller. But I think for the beginners, not to say beginner, the primary market is actually first-hand properties. The secondary market are the second hand. Okay, there are differences on these markets. But what I actually wanted to share with you basically is about the waiver of RPGD exemption, whether it can be in a way that benefit the buyers also.
Yes.
Why? We should reward the hero who dare to buy property nowadays.
Yes.
And then by waiving these 5 years down the line, they're going to, within this 5-year period, they don't have to pay anything for 18 months. For 18 months.
So it's something that the government kind of missed out for the secondary market. Secondary market means those who are buying houses, second-hand houses from another owner. There is not much benefit for them, but in fact they are probably the biggest group in terms of transaction numbers. And like you said, they are the heroes because they come out and they start putting money into the economy by buying houses. They should be rewarded.
This actually will stimulate the overall market condition because a lot of people can afford it. They are waiting the timing to buy. As we know that now, later we'll talk about OPR actually reduced by 0.25. This is another good news for those property investors. At the same time, this will actually stir up the buying mood rather than because the seller doesn't benefit quite a bit because the depressed market, the price that you pick it up will be actually lower than the market value. So in other words, if you actually expand it to the buyers so that they can actually buy property within the 8 months and then we get the waiver from the RPGD tax, that will be very good for the market.
Right. So for those who just joined us, before I go to the next question, for those who just joined us, please comment below if you have any questions that you want to ask either Dato' Chua or Benny later on. Please leave your question below, we will pick it up. And also please remember to share this live feed to your friends and family by commenting Bay Suites and tag 3 of your friends because we are giving out a very, very beautiful camouflage sponsored by Bay Suites. So all you have to do is just share tonight's feed by typing Bay Suites and tag 3 of your friends in the comment box below. So here, my friend Benny, since we're on this topic of HOC, Benny is the chairman for HOC here in Sabah. So last year, our government already introduced HOC. So HOC started since 2019. How did Sabah do during the HOC?
Oh, Sabah did very well. Matter of fact, we were able to achieve total value of 940 million.
940 million?
Nearly at 1 billion.
Just Sabah?
Just Sabah alone. And for the whole Malaysia, we got 23.2 billion out of HOC alone. Yeah. So I think it's a really good incentive. Really thankful to the government that reintroducing this on Penjana. We call it the recovery plan, the short-term recovery plan.
Short-term recovery plan. So, based on your understanding from the last HOC and the new HOC, maybe you can share with our audience today what are the differences between the two?
Yeah, sure. Well, basically, the new HOC it started from 1st of June 2020. It will end at 30th of May 2021. And the major difference this time is this is a joint effort between the private sector and the government. The HOC is actually this time is to stipulate a series of incentives to stimulate the economy and also to increase the home ownership. Yeah. So what are the difference between the benefit between these two? The confirmed one until today, the latest one we have, there are actually 4 confirmed HOC incentives for Sabah alone. So for Sabah, the first one will be 100% stamp duty exemption for the instrument of transfer for the first million, and the other one will be from 1 million to 2.5 million is chargeable at 3% only. So basically, we are talking about residential property only from 300,000 to 2.5 million, which is a really huge range. Yeah. So the second one, the second incentive which we are talking about is actually the stamp duty exemption is totally 100% for loan agreements and all the legal agreements. And also the buyers is going to get 10%, at least a 10% discount from the developers. This is an effort from the private sector to help the buyers and the government to stimulate the market. I think we should all take this opportunity to, and come in as an investor or a genuine home buyer. Yeah, this is a great time to do it. The last one would be for Sabah alone. I would like to thank Sabah Law Society. They have agreed to give us a 25% discount, which is a huge amount. Yeah, on all the legal fees, net legal fees on HOC participants. We have seen it last year, we have seen it this year, and it's like once a blue moon kind of thing. Yeah, I think it is a good time. Now, I think all the incentive will actually accumulate up to around 15% of the value of the house.
Value of the property.
Yeah, value of the property.
Including the loan agreement.
Yeah.
15%. So just put in layman terms so everybody
Right.
can understand how
Right.
big this amount is. So if you're buying a property of maybe 500,000,
Right.
so you could be saving up to about 75,000.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
75,000
That's right.
saving upfront.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
On stamp duty, on loan cost,
Yes.
on legal cost,
Yes.
legal fees. So these are real hard cash savings. 75,000.
Yes, yeah.
You can use this money to reinvest into maybe whether renovation or furniture, or use it for other purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is I think the new things for this HOC. So is this HOC applicable to what Datu said just now, the secondary market, the sub-sale, the second-hand homes?
No, it's not. Well, this HOC is only for primary market. It's only for residential property from the developers. They can be completed, they can be constructed, they can be under construction. Yeah. And only Malaysian individuals are applicable to these benefits and incentives. Yeah. Company is strictly prohibited.
So if there are investors out there who buys and owns property using a company,
they are not.
They can't.
Yeah, they can't. They won't be enjoying HOC incentive.
Because I think spirit of HOC is to help home ownership.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
so youngsters, individuals out there who are looking and considering to buy a house, they really shouldn't be waiting anymore.
This is the best time
It's the
because
best
the
time.
interest rate is so low,
The interest rate is low.
and then all parties are giving incentive and gift. And this is the right time, and maybe the viewer out there, if you think that it's about time for you to buy property, why not look at the HOC program? And two on residential development. But this is only primary market.
That means you have to buy directly from the developers.
Yes.
So what property would you suggest, Dr. Chua?
Actually, throughout Malaysia, there's a scheme which are actually lacking off is a landed property. Okay? And those actually developer we are doing landed, most of them are actually away from town, from the cities. So there's a encouragement that for our members, developer members, that we wish to appeal to them to do more landed. Okay, this is actually what we are lacking off. The investor actually wanted to buy landed. Of course, there's differences between landed and also high rise, which we're going to elaborate on that later.
Okay. So if those who are looking, they're considering, so now that we keep telling them it's a good time to buy, they should be buying, you're saying that landed property is
terrace house, MED, and
yes, those are good to invest in. What about the other type of properties? Because landed properties are really hard to find. They are not easy.
There are a few development under landed, which you can shop around, and then whether it's suitable to you. And because of landed, it actually subdivided titles. You can have a title rather you have a strata title, or they call it Sabah call it subsidy title. And what actually the investor do not want is actually pay monthly MC fees. Then they don't have to. If they buy subdivided, you don't have to. But sometimes because of security reason, we have gated community. Whereby it's gated, you still have to pay maybe 30, 40, $50 per month to keep your thing affordable and safe. So this is the way forward. I think we also have to look at the dollar and cents, whether it's feasible to do it.
Gated, guarded, landed properties.
Landed properties will be the trend. Will be
the trend,
yeah, will trend.
and it will be a good buy because I think in the long term, the gated, guarded communities are better managed and therefore better appreciation as well.
Yeah. When you buy landed, basically you are buying, staying over there, self-occupied.
Right.
At the same time, you actually go for capital growth. But the rental market, it would be actually better at the apartment and condominium. Because the condominium apartment, you look at the location. If you rent it out to expatriate, give you an example, you rent for Bay 21 for 2,003 square feet, you're renting for 6,005, which is very, very good.
It's very good.
Rental, even now.
What kind of return are we talking about if you're renting at
maybe about 5 to 6%.
5 to 6%.
So this is very good rental income. So I think you have to pick on location basis on apartments and condominium, so that when you go for rental yield, it's much higher, much higher. So this is actually how you select a property. But landed, basically, I still encourage people to buy HOC. I'm talking about HOC. Right. It's landed would be preferable if you are actually first home buyer. You feel that basically you can actually play around with landed, and whereby you can do extra cubicle study rooms. You know, whereby we talk about new norm, you can do your gardening. All these things actually would be. I actually stay in landed before, but now I'm getting old. I'm actually moving into the condominium and apartment.
Yeah. So we hope that moving forward, more developers will be building landed properties, because I can already hear our viewers and people out there shouting, "We got so many landed properties to buy," because most of the developers are building high-rise at this time.
Because of land cost,
because of land cost and constraints as well, land issues.
Yeah.
So I'm about to invite our next guest out, but before I do that, let us run into a little lucky draw session here. So I want to encourage those who just joined us, please continue to share, but this time round, we have a special gift. We're giving out a free Philips air fryer if you share and tag 3 of your friends from now onwards. So this is sponsored by Basis again from Dr. Chua. Thank you very much. So,
my pleasure.
So for this moment onwards, if you, in the comment box, if you share this post and tag 3 of your friends and you type air fryer, so you will be in the draw to win one of these beautiful air fryers from Philips. It's really heavy. Okay, so now our good friend Mr. Wesley Chai is here. He's from Top Green Development. So Wesley is widely known as the tech guy in the real estate scene. He always has the latest gadgets, the latest tech toys. So we always look up to him when there's new technologies in the real estate development scenes. So Wesley, what have you brought us today?
Hi everyone. Yes, I would like to share some information of the new tech online virtual tour and real-time 3D walkthrough. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, people are following SOP and keep social distance to stay safe. And we have get used to going out less or gathering unless it is very necessary. This change of behavior obviously have affected many businesses. And right now, physical exhibition is not allowed for the time being.
That's right.
Then how can developers promote their project, and how potential clients can see the show unique without going to the site? Therefore, virtual tour is now becoming an important marketing tool, which can help to solve this problem. Now, I would like to demonstrate some of these new technology, which can help to attract and impress viewers.
Okay, that's great. So you have a demonstration for us, a walkthrough of a 3D virtual technology. Okay.
Hi. Firstly, I would like to demonstrate a real-time 3D walkthrough where physical showroom is not available yet. Real-time 3D walkthrough is just like playing a computer games. It requires to use a good gaming PC or laptop in order to show the realistic details in real time. By click of mouse or touch on touchscreen monitor, you can go any way you like. and see the details of any corners. In the 3D design, you can put in any special effect depends on your imagination creativity. The sky is the limit. This is a demo of an external view of a sample apartment. You can rotate the views by mouse or by dragging the screen using fingers for touchscreen monitor. Pins to zoom in or out, or to see at bird-eye views of the surrounding, and try all the interactive feature in it. As I mentioned earlier that real-time 3D walkthrough required to use a good gaming PC or laptop to show to your clients by your salesperson. It is a big program you can't simply send to your client online. Virtual tour will be a good alternative way for online viewing. Now, I would like to demonstrate an online interactive virtual tour. You can simply send the virtual tour link to your client easily by WhatsApp, Facebook, social media, or email. They can see it by using their normal handphone, tablet, or PC. What is virtual tour? Virtual tour is an interactive presentation system consists of linking many 360-degree photos or videos captured from existing showroom or from 360-degree 3D model for unbuilt showroom or projects. Virtual tour actually has been around for quite some time. Recently, the demand has increased significantly due to COVID-19 effect. Some of you might have seen it before. There are several types. It is fully immersive and interactive with many interesting features. By clicking the hotspot in the screen, you can move from point to point in the digital showroom smoothly. The showroom is captured in three-dimension data. By using the measuring tool, user can even measure the length distance of the room space. Now, I am demonstrate another type of 3D walkthrough which can be presented in YouTube video. This is not a standard video. It has 360-degree view feature. Just send the YouTube link to your client. They can experience rotating the screen to view the whole showroom surrounding. In conclusion, seeing the project or showroom in this type of interesting, innovative, and immersive interactive virtual tour or real-time visualization way is much more persuasive than traditional site photos and walkthrough videos. And it helps to gain competitive edge to gain sales, while some people might still reluctant to go around for site visit for the time being. Without have to face-to-face interaction with virtual tour, it can provide the same benefit as an in-person tour, while taking preventative measures for decreasing the risk of coronavirus. This is the end of my sharing. Thank you very much.
Wow. I
Hi.
like what I see. Do you like what you see?
I would like to
That is
demonstrate a real-time
how new ways of looking at properties will be from now onwards. I think this is a good technology that Wesley has introduced. So if you like what you see, please comment below by giving a thumbs up. I just want to know, Wesley, how long will it take to produce, a video like this that you just shown us?
It takes about 3-4 days.
3-4 days. So they have to be on site to do the shooting.
Yes.
How,
Some have to do 3D.
Some have to do in 3Ds. Okay. So basically, any kind of buildings, any facilities can be done using
Whatever you can imagine.
Whatever you can imagine. So we can see the real interior, exterior, the facility, the pool.
Yes, anything.
So this is very useful, isn't it?
Yes.
For guests, especially if you're buyers from overseas. I think for KK projects, there are a lot of outstation buyers from maybe Beaufort, Tawau, Sanakan. They buy into KK properties. In the past, people have to fly in here to see the property itself. And now with these technologies,
Online, you can see everything.
everything can be done online. So I think this is a wonderful way. This is what we call a new norm.
Yeah.
So
Even tonight, we're actually embracing online technologies. So it actually is online marketing, embracing new technologies towards the online marketing. This is one of the tools that actually I mentioned, opportunity after new norm. These are the things that we actually want to do. As a property developer, we need to innovate with ideas, especially nowadays facing this challenging market. So this is a way forward.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So please continue to like and comment below and let us know if you have any question. So I just want to thank you, Wesley, for showing us this beautiful video, new technology about 3D walkthrough, and that is how we all will be viewing our future homes from this point onwards. We will now go into, I think we've got a few questions already. We will now go into our Q&A to answer some of the burning questions from our viewers. I think the first question we have here is about, welcome back, Benny, by the way. The first question we have is about bank loan. Can our viewers are asking, can people get 70% margin for third residential properties onwards?
I think the question is actually the LTV that previously preventing people investing in residential development.
Yeah.
That is actually third property maximum is 70%.
That was before last month.
Yeah.
Before last month, when you have your third property, you cannot get 100%
So
loan.
basically, it actually allowed waiving of this. It allowed the bank to decide whether they can extend it to 90%. Because those actually first home buyer or not, you can actually lend out to 90%. But this basically is actually the restriction is removed. So that if I have more than 3 houses, if I go to buy, there's no restriction. But it's subject to the internal risk of the bank manager. If they actually like my profile, secrets and whatnot is stable, they can lend me up to 90%, even the third, fourth, fifth property. And then the question is it including commercial suite? We're talking about residential. Commercial suite, anytime, if you want to lend, I think the maximum they lend up to 85%. Okay? Because it's commercial, 85%. Residential, they go for 90%. So I think for Bay Street, they actually lend my buyers up to 85%.
85%.
Yeah. The 5%, 85 plus 5 is the MRTA. It's an insurance, which I actually encourage my buyers to subscribe for it. If actually down, in the age of below 40, your insurance will be getting cheaper.
Very cheap.
Actually, above 40, the insurance will be getting higher. So actually, for incidentally, our commercial suite here, basically in Bay Street, the average age is about 35 years old. With the database we have collecting, there are a lot of youngsters going out to buy commercial suite, and also that on the upper floor, we actually try to change certain concept from more or less into what we call it service suites, or you can call it service apartment. So that it's bigger. Most of the rooms will be en suite, and then I add in dual key. Dual key basically will be actually very good after new norm. You actually separate between your working area, working place, and your residential address. So going to the main door, you have both sides of the door. So this I introduced this dual key is actually for after new norm. So that's basically will be forming innovation idea all along, so that all these things will be actually embarked on the new new norms. New norms.
Right. So basically, to answer the question, the third property, you can now borrow up to 90%, subject to the bank approval. But that's for residential. For commercial suites, commercial projects, there is no such cap. It's not included in this because for commercial, you can always get up to 85% if you have good credit rating. Right?
Yeah.
So I hope that answers the questions. And we have another question for our HOC chairman, Benny. Is there any fees I need to pay before I purchase a property during the HOC period?
No, there will not be any fees for the purchaser. The fees is actually only applies to the developers.
Okay.
So basically, the developers will pay for all the services.
Yeah.
Because HOC is only applicable to 3 associations, which is REDA, Shida from Sarawak, and Sharida of Sabah. So every developer will have to pay a fee to anticipate their project to HOC. But all the buyers who are buying from the developers, they are not going to charge a single cent.
From my understanding, there's really no cost to the buyers,
no
right?
cost at
All right.
This is actually providing the services,
yeah,
including all this payment that these services, and then Sharida taking the lead to get certification.
Yeah.
So that in a nutshell, because MOT sometimes it's not immediate, it actually takes some time.
Okay.
So we have to keep all this file for a few years, and then when you actually sell it or transfer, it will take a few years down the line. So our secretary have to keep all this file, because the IRB will actually contact us for this certification.
Yeah, a few years later.
Yeah.
So imagine a buyer walk into your sales gallery today, they decide to buy a property, and then they sign the paper. Apart from the upfront, maybe 10% deposit, down payment they have to pay, there's really zero fees, right? Zero cost to them.
Yeah, it depends whether the developer are actually paying for the SMT. SMT, because the stamp duty is free, but still the legal fees is payable. But if I do believe some developer actually absorb the legal fees.
Yes.
And the loan agreement. Yeah, but
The stamp duty on the loan agreement.
Yes.
It has been waived.
It has also been waived. Okay. So thank you, Benny. So we have another questions for you. Is HOC applicable to all projects or units?
No, it is not applicable to all units. It is only applicable to units that the developers have registered with Sharida or Sabah.
Okay.
Yeah, they can be 100 units for a certain project, but the developer might only register 50 units, or 5 units, or 10 units. Yeah, because not all developers wanted to put all their incentive in one basket. So it depends whether the developer want to take this as a marketing tool. I think all of us would actually love to join, and I think all of the developers nowadays are facing a really critical time. I believe the government would actually want them to join
as much as they can.
As much as they can. Yeah, I think the buyers also, they have to what do you call it? Have to grasp this opportunity. It's like once in a lifetime opportunity.
But something I think the buyer need to be aware of is also not all projects are entitled under HOC, isn't it?
Yes. The
only
buyers,
those registered.
Correct. So the buyers have to find out from the developers whether their project is actually registered with HOC.
If the developer are registered with us, there's a logo called HOC. Used to be HOC 2019, but lately actually we changed the logo, HOC 2020 and 2021.
Okay. So the buyers really have to ask the developers, is your project registered under HOC?
Yes.
And is the unit that I'm buying eligible for HOC?
Yes.
So if the project has 500 units, so maybe only a few of it are registered under HOC with that incentive.
Yeah, it
So
could be certain. It could be also the whole 500 units
could be.
are registered with HOC.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they need to clarify.
So
with
so
the
long there's a
developers.
logo there, I think that should explain it all.
Yes.
There's a logo registered on the advertisement, so that is actually automatically is a registered.
And,
Okay.
and also we are allowing the developer to change their unit that registered with HOC. So there's going to be a small administration fee, but they can change, for example, lot 1 to lot number 10 for HOC participating to participate in that. So I believe it's very flexible for Sharida on that, and very flexible for the buyers and developer to do that. Yeah.
Okay. So I think there's one place people can check about more of this project is to call up Sharida's office, isn't it?
Yes.
So if you call Sharida office or you go to Sharida website and check sharida.com, then you'll be able to see which are the projects eligible. If you're still not sure, you can always call up the office.
You can text Benny as well.
Text Benny as well,
Yeah.
call him, message him on his Facebook.
No problem.
So there's any more questions? We have one last question.
Yeah,
So,
I can answer that. No problem. The number 4.
okay. Is there any digital platform available presently in the market for both buyers and developers?
Yeah, for Sabah, basically now Wesley is taking the lead.
Yes.
He actually basically will take the lead over this. So I think tomorrow or the day after tomorrow,
Friday.
yeah, there will
Friday.
be an expo together HOC organized by Sharida. And then after that, we confirm everything on this. There will be a digital platform available. Presently in the market will be actually Wesley taking the lead. So this also you can call Wesley if you're interested in this digital market platform. And Sharida will actually placing all this in the forefront of the embracing the what they call it, the online technologies.
So basically, if you are developers, you have a project to sell. I think Sharida is calling for a briefing this Friday in the office.
Yes.
You guys can go up there, and they are setting up a brand new website where you can put all these projects, especially those under HOC also. Those projects that are still available for sales, all these projects will be listed on a new website that Sharida is creating. So more details will be announced later. So we have one last question. Am I right? So what if they have already signed the SPA in January and already paid, but
the instrument transfer.
But the instrument transfer is at a later stage.
Well,
Can they still
no, not really.
enjoy the HOC?
Not really. If because the period for HOC for the new one is actually from 1st of June 2020 to May 30th 2021. So if your S&P is signed on January, basically you are not eligible because you are not in that period.
And if I understand correctly, January is an empty period, isn't it? From
Exactly,
January
yes.
until end of May is an empty period.
Yes.
Because HOC from last year has ended.
Yes, ended.
And the new HOC hasn't started.
Yes, you're right.
So too bad lah. So there's no refund. There's no nothing you can do about it.
No.
Yeah.
So there's another question, a lot of frequent question that a lot of people ask me is that if I bought a unit in 1st of June, because I'm eligible, but I already paid my stamp duty, am I able to refund my stamp duty? It's too bad you won't be able to do that as well. Yeah, you won't be able to get the refund from LHDN. Yeah.
We have to wait for the gazette, is it?
Yes. Oh, and one more very important information.
Yes.
The gadget is not out yet.
Yes.
The gadget, the order is not out yet.
Yes.
Although all these incentives have been put in black and white, the Ministry of Finance has announced all these incentives, but we were not able to proceed any of these application at the moment. But I was told it will be gadget and officially gadget by this month. Yeah, so hopefully when everything comes in, we'll be able to start to register everyone. Yeah.
So what happened to those buyers who just bought, the last few days?
Well, it will not really affect them, but it will actually affect the developers.
Okay.
Minor effect. So the buyer will not be charged anything because they cannot get their loan agreement stamped. Yeah. So when the loan agreement is not stamped, basically no charges on the bank loan incurred. Yeah, the only thing that they have put in is actually the deposit only. Yeah.
So for those who just made a purchase during this period, it's a gray area period, they pretty much can still be eligible for the benefits of this HOC, just pending for the gazette to be out. Then all the documents can be processed.
Yes. But the full incentive you mentioned just now is already cast in iron. It's all there already. Yeah, it's all there. It's been announced by Ministry of Finance.
It has.
Yeah, so it's just the matter of implementing it into a law.
Okay. Yeah. And recently we also heard about the news on Sabah, my second home. I think our chief minister announced it towards the end of last month about this new scheme. We used to have Malaysia, my second home, to attract foreigners come and retire and spend their time in Malaysia. So now there's a Sabah, my second home. What's the insight on this?
Okay, the MM2H has been around for the maybe last 10 odd years throughout Malaysia. And but there are certain control by the state. Basically, like unlike Sabah and Sarawak, we have our own land law and whatnot. So because recently the Minister of Tourism actually announced they actually suspended the MM2H. Whole Malaysia except Sabah and Sarawak. So it's ideal for our Chief Minister, Datuk Sri Shafiee, actually announced this Sabah, my second home, which we call it SM2H. It actually allowed, the gist of it is, in short, it's actually allowed the visa for 5 years tied in together with the property investment. So that's that the ecosystem, business ecosystem are actually intact. So that there's a correlation between property investment and SM2H. So which is very good towards the stirring up the economic condition, which is here the spin-off. So with this, actually, they actually reduce the threshold between, if it's actually in Kuala Lumpur Federal, they impose a threshold of 1 million for MM2H. For Sabah, for residential, they reduce it to 750. In other words, if any foreigner want to invest in property in Sabah, they can actually buy up 750K above, no more 1 million.
Okay.
For those actually for commercial industrial, they still have to go back to that 1 million threshold. But they tied back to the 5 years visa
program.
But it's multi-entry. If you actually become MA2H in Kuala Lumpur when you purchase a property for 10 years, visa free for 10 years, you can stay there. But you still have to apply to come to Sabah. But if you actually SM2H here, you don't have to, you can go to anywhere Malaysia for the context. You don't have to apply another visa in Kuala Lumpur. So there is an advantage for SM2H.
So SM2H is a lot more powerful than MM2H.
Yes. But it actually, MM2H, you do not have to buy any property investment. But basically, that SM2H, we have tried to, and this Friday as well, we have to talk to the detail on to the government, UPain, to take about detail of the policy, so that it actually coincide with the property. Because the whole ecosystem is actually bringing investment to come in, whether it's foreign ownership, whether it's SM2H, okay? Because there are some people who doesn't interested in the SM2H. They all just want to buy the property for investment, for 5 years down the line they want to sell and whatnot. For the keen people that moving in now, actually very hot is Hong Kong, and also query from Taiwan. So now Hong Kong is actually getting very hot because of the Beijing, Security Act, whatnot. So actually very hot to look at inquiries.
A lot of people are trying to move out of Hong Kong.
Not to move out, they find any opportunity for their next generation. Perhaps like Sabah were to improve on maybe more on international school. I think the medical facility is rising up. It's okay. The only thing is actually colleges and also the university, all these things, I think we actually have a reputable one, including Sung Sin School, Independent School, this alike like Keng Kok Su, these are actually very good for the children to resident here and study.
When will there be more information about this scheme, the Sabah My Second
We
Home
are
program?
meeting the UPenn this Friday.
Okay.
Sharida, myself, and Datuk Chu, and then we take it from there.
Okay.
We take it from there.
So hopefully in the
It's
next couple
still
of months.
new, raw and new.
Mm.
Okay. When we finalize the detail, perhaps this is the first edition for the for our talk here. Maybe next month we talk about another issue, maybe on this issue as well, on the 8th of August. So we try very hard. If you actually continue to support us, Facebook viewer, then we do it every month. 4 on the 7 or 7, 8 or 8, and 9 or 9, 10 or 10. The episode goes on. Then we can talk about other subjects too. Okay.
So to all the developers out there, I think you guys should be looking out for this Sabah My Second Home program, because it will definitely help in your property sales as well moving forward. So finally, today there's an announcement about the interest rate cut, right? So what sort of impact do you think it will have in the local economy?
Yeah, actually, it's a good news for those investors that actually purchase properties. 0.25, I heard. So virtually, you are paying 1.75 OPI is 1.75. It depends on your BR rate is how much. So I think it's in the region of 3% now. If you actually 3% BR rate, we're talking about 0.8. We are talking about 3.8, which is the lowest ever for
since 2004.
Yeah, the lowest ever. So imagine that during the Asian financial crisis, you have to pay over 12% of all this interest rate. Now we only pay 3.8%. My God, I love to buy more property. I love to buy. I'm going to invest. Yeah, myself.
So I think I believe this drop in interest rate will also change how people invest. Instead of maybe putting the money in the bank for FD, so now it's high time to look into other form of investment. Real estate is definitely one of them, because your cost of investment is a lot lower, isn't it?
In June, when my bank renew my interest month to month, is 1.38. Now it will be getting lower. It will be just hold on 1.1, 1.2. So with 1.1, 1.2, basically is the inflation will take over. If you talk about inflation 4%, you're actually losing up almost 3%. So these are the factors that why you invest in properties, which you actually have to look out for certain property that you like, residential or whether it's commercial. In a commercial suite, you can actually the other day when we discussed the CBC with planning officer, commercial suite actually can cater for residential as well. Okay. It also that work from home concept, you can actually, if you actually stay in the terrace house, you cannot register a trading license. Whereby you stay in the commercial suite, you can register when they're actually doing online business. You can register an address and then with TPKK trading license.
Small micro businesses.
Small micro business, and also you can actually getting a bank account and whatnot. Okay, these are things that moving forward.
Great. Thank you. Then I think we have learned a lot tonight. So I hope those who join us, we have also learned together and grow in our knowledge. We will be announcing the winners for tonight's lucky draw in the comment box below afterward. So if look out and check out if you're one of the winners for the thermal flask or the Philip air fryer. So if you're a winner, you will have to DM us. We will be in contact with you, and you'll be able to collect your gift from Bay 21 here. So in the orange store from Bay 21. So it's a high time to come and visit these beautiful properties. So once again, I want to thank you, Dato' Chua from Bay Street, for sponsoring tonight's session
for watching
and sponsoring all the gifts that you all are getting tonight. And also thank you, Benny and Wesley, for the insights and the knowledge that they have shared with us about HOC and also about the new technology moving forward. So we hope to see more